Once upon a time, there lived a young man called Ogo in the village of Fumodi, where he lived alone with his mother. He was the only child of his parents, and he had lost his father since he was a little baby of 1 month old. His father was a very rich man, owning lands and houses, and so many things, but he had died mysteriously after a brief illness. Since then, his mother had remained with him in his father's home and secured his entire father's properties and wealth from greedy relatives who had wanted to seize them all from him. His mother had refused to remarry. If she had remarried, the properties would have been collected from them, and his son would not have gained his father's things. For his sake, therefore, he had jeopardized her happiness and future to secure all the things for him. She had stood on the grounds, waged war with the family members despite her young age, and claimed it all for her son. They had wanted to take everything and share it among them, but she refused. Her husband has a child, and so the things must go to their son. What will the son use to take care of himself later in life if they shared everything to the relatives? So she had stood there for him and nurtured him until he became 19 years of age. When he turned 19, he sat him down and told him it was time for him to get married. He was surprised to hear that from his mother. He looked at her and for the first time noticed the expression of worries on her face. "What is it, mother?" he asked anxiously. "You look worried. Are you all right?" He felt weak suddenly. It was only his mother that he had, and he would do anything to make sure his mother was all right. He didn't want to lose her at all. "My son, you know you are all your father and I have," she said slowly, making August's heart beat faster with fear. "I want you to marry and bring forth children. Children that will be by your side when I'm old and no more. You need an heir to your wealth and other children to help you run your father's properties. All these things will keep your father's name and your name going." "I'm listening, mother, but I can't just go out there to pick an heir. When I become of age, I will get married and do that, my beloved mama," he ended laconically. "Ha ha 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 ha," laughed his mother. "I'm happy you understand what I'm trying to say, my son. But mother, is that why you are looking so sad?" he asked her softly, hugging her. "Yes, my son," she replied. "That's why I'm sad, and pray you understand what I'm about to discuss with you now." She went on to explain everything that had happened in his father's family and all that had transpired between herself and them when they wanted to seize the properties. She told him she had sacrificed her happiness and future for him, and it was time now he got married. He was now 19, and 19 is not too young to start a family. So he told him that he has to get a wife and get married to make her happy and contented. After much talk, Ogo agreed to his mother's request. He agreed and said that his mother has to pick a bride for him because he had never given any girl a thought in his life. She was waiting to hear this and she was happy. He was waiting to become of age as a man before getting involved and was not the promiscuous type. He had faith in his mother and was sure she would look for a good girl for him. So he threw the whole thing out of his mind and focused on his daily activities until his mother called him one day to say she had found a girl for him to marry. God's mother wanted to choose a girl for him, but her trusted neighbor told her not to worry, that she had a good girl in mind to recommend, and that was how a beautiful girl called Makuza was recommended. The marriage was conducted, and the girl, Makuza, came to live with them in their house. She was very beautiful, and sometimes Ogo would sit down and be admiring her, looking at her. He would be wondering where his mother actually went and found such a beauty for him to marry. He was still staring at her one day when she caught him red-handed. She caught his gaze on her and smiled. "Why are you looking at me that way, my husband?" she asked. He laughed and said, You are so beautiful, Makuza. I'm lucky to have you as a wife. Makuza laughed out in response, appreciating the words from her husband's mouth, and hugged him. Thank you, my husband, I appreciate, she said. The following year, Makuza gave birth to a healthy baby boy, and August's mother was so happy that her joy knew no bounds. She named him Obuzo, meaning first child on the road to bearing more children. She practically doted on the baby and could be seen all day carrying the baby about. They were thus living happily, and they were also quite contented until about 3 years later. It was expected that another child would come along and be born next to Buzo, but it did not happen that way. The family became worried again. Ogo's mother advised her son to take another wife since another child was not coming. She had been so anxious about Ogo being alive as an only child back then, and she did not want to continue with such worriness again. One day, Makuza went to see her parents and told them what was happening. She cried a lot as she was talking, and they advised her to be patient, that the Creator would do it and give them more children. Makuza spent 2 days with her parents in her parents' home. While she was there, her friends came to see her. And when they learned about Makuza's situation, they started giving her some advice. And she felt elated to have such caring friends. Some said, Makuza, have patience. The Creator will do it for you and your husband someday. Another said to say, tell your mother to take you to a traditional medicine man to check you up if something is wrong. Her best friend, Dalu, came and took her to one side, to a corner, and asked her, why are you suffering yourself with all this nonsensical torture of not being pregnant again? What are you trying to tell me, Dalu? Makuza asked her in return. Please go straight to the point. I'm tired of all this rigmarole. Makuza knew her friend very well and knew she was trying to tell her something. Listen carefully, Dalu said. You are not a baby and you know it. Find a man that looks almost like your husband and sleep with him to get you pregnant. What? Dalu, how can you say that? Makuza queried in astonishment. Let me tell you something. You can do it on the days your husband and his mother are not around, and you will become pregnant. Just try it, she advised. After all, you have one son for him already. If the others are not his, it doesn't matter. What if I'm caught? Makuza asked. You will not be caught. Other women are doing it. Go and ask around, her friend replied. Instead of losing your marriage and all those wealth, it's better you do what I'm telling you now and secure your home. That's complete rubbish you are saying. And you are such a bad friend. I didn't know you are like this. You want to break my home? She was not happy at all. She remembered her husband, who always admired and loved her so much. And she made up her mind to follow Dali's advice to save her marriage without thinking twice. She would not allow such a thing to happen, and so she visited her parents' home again just to see Dalo. She apologized to her friend for her ill manner the last time they spoke, and later the two girls planned on how to perfect the plan of having a man come to sleep with her in her husband's home when her mother-in-law traveled and when her husband was not at home. With that mapped out, Makuza returned to her husband's house and waited until a time came when her mother-in-law traveled and her husband was not around. The arranged man visited several times and each time made love to Makuza on her matrimonial bed, which was a forbidden thing in the community. Each time the man visited, they would give Obuzo sweet things to eat while they slept with each other. Ogon's mother returned from her journey and 2 weeks later traveled again to her village to see her family. Ogo also was not around. He went to work. As soon as they had left, the man arrived, and as they were busy in the act, Ogo came back home to collect something he had forgotten to take along with him. He knocked at the door, calling out to his wife to open the door quickly. that he had forgotten to take his key with him. Makuza was shocked to hear her husband's voice. Panicking, she quickly told the naked man to get under the bed and went to open the door for her husband. Ogo looked at his wife and saw that she was perspiring heavily. "Why are you sweating like this, my wife?" he asked in surprise. "Are you sure you are all right?" "Yes," she quickly said. I was sleeping." "You were sleeping and perspiring? Do they perspire in sleep?" the husband asked. Her husband sat down and drew his son, Obuzo, to himself while his wife stood blocking the bed from his view. "What are you eating so early in the morning?" he asked his son as he saw him eating sweet things. Brother, gave me," his son replied. The small boy said in a tone that he did not understand. "Whose brother?" he asked, baffled. Makuza quickly chipped in. "Don't mind him, I gave it to him." "Oh, okay," Ogo replied and started thinking and trying to remember where he left the key in the house. "I wonder where I must have left my door key," he said aloud, thinking. Obuzo looked at his father's worried face and said, "Papa, onye ni ka ọ na-elo? Ọ papa m na ife ọ na-elo? Nne m na ife ọ na-elo? Onye di n'okpuru akwa na ife ọ na-elo?" Meaning, "Papa, you are thinking about your key. Mama is thinking about you. And the man under the bed is also thinking how he will come out from the bed." "Huh? What are you saying, Obuzo?" his father asked his son as he was talking in their language. "Today you are talking in riddles." "Don't mind him," put in Makuza, his mother. "Come on, leave this place and get into the room." But Obuzo would not stop. He kept on talking and pointing towards the bed. His father was looking at him. "Papa, onye ni ka ọ na-elo? Mama, onye ni ka ọ na-elo? Onye di n'okpuru akwa ni ka ọ na-elo?" The father said, "The mother, Papa, what you are thinking? Mama is also thinking. The person under the bed is also thinking." The man was forced to get up, wanting to check what was under the bed that the son must be talking about, but his wife blocked him. "What's the meaning of this, Makuza?" he asked her in surprise. "Get out of the way." He pushed her off gently, not suspecting anything, and looked under the bed. Behold, what met his eyes took him off balance. It was a naked man, lying still under the bed, with wide eyes of horror staring straight back at him. He raised alarm, thinking it was a thief. And the neighbors came running in, and the man was brought out, forced out of under the bed, and they found him naked. He was beaten heavily, and he confessed that he had been coming to make love with Makuza, that it was all arranged for him to be doing it, to pregnant her, to have more children. Oh, they beat him mercilessly and carried him to the chief's house for judgment to be carried out. Ogo and his mother chased Makuza out of their home, and Obuzo was taken from her. What a shame to Makuza and her family. A daughter bringing shame to the family. 6 months later, Ogo married another girl, and this time he made the choice himself. He later had 2 more sons and a daughter. The woman was kind and took great care of Obuzo. Obuzo grew up to know her as his mother, and he would hardly know she was not his mother at all. In all we do on earth, the Creator's time is always the best. That is the end of the story. Please like and share the videos. Don't forget to subscribe and press the notification bell to be notified of new releases. Thanks for watching.